How are you guys? I will be Jasenka. I will be Giovanni. I guess Italy. Yes, ciao. And soon, yes, because time flies. Can you believe we are in October already? In December, I will be presenting in Zagreb and Belgrade after all these years. Okay. So anyway, um, thank you, Oceanside, California. It's wonderful to have here. Hello, Vera from Beograd. Beograd. It's wonderful to have people from the US. I travel by invitation, yes? So I said in US, nobody invites me. So I keep going around the world. Yes. So every time that I see people, I'm in Florida. Regina, how was it the hurricane for you? In what area of Florida? We had some amazing testimonials yesterday in my monthly class for my members, and today in my Spanish live, um, from somebody just telling us what they did, during the hurricane. Wonderful, Christine, to have you here. It's nice to see you. Thank you. Um, so he's in our membership we have some inspirational cards that you can draw daily, and she says that she drew the one that she got. It was trust. Yeah. So every time that she would go into the fear or the worries or something like that about the hurricane, because she was in Tampa, where when and she said it is incredible because I saw the news and Tampa looked really bad, but she said, "Oh well, no, here was only just a lot of rain and a lot of wind." So can you imagine that you can be at the same place at the same time and have a completely different experience? So remember Psalm 91. It will go on your left and your right, and everybody could have a completely different experience. But because of that, so she says every time that she would go into the water or something, she would remember the card and just, I let go and trust, I let go and trust, I let go and trust. So I'm in the West Palm Beach, but my son-in-law is a worker for the electric and over there working 16 hours a day to help. Yeah. West Coast, Florence, West Coast, Florida, devastation. Very sad. Yeah, I mean, amazing, amazing. But we clean so that God can help these people. Yes, because we cannot. So the idea is how to allow God to help, and miracles could come up uh, or show up from places that we never thought possible. And that's what we need to open up right now to miracles. I had interviewed people that had lost things because their house were burned, or something like that, and she had an amazing experience after. I know that going through, I mean, we hope that that's not in our um, let's say destiny, yes, but Tora, thank you for being here. You're always welcome here in Arizona. Thank you, Tora. Okay, so Slobodan, Fala, thank you, Volinte. Thank you, I love you. Okay, I'm gonna start with the I am the I. I am the I. I come forth from the void into light. I am the breath that nurtures life. I am that emptiness, that hollowness beyond all consciousness. The I, the id, the all. I draw my bow of rainbows across the waters, the continuum of minds with matters. I am the incoming and outgoing of breath, the invisible, untouchable breath, the undefinable atom of creation. I am the I. Thank you so much for being here. Remember last Saturday I mentioned that really my heart was into staying in Buenos Aires. I wanted to stay in Buenos Aires a little bit longer, but I chose to come back to LA to be able to share time with or have time with my granddaughter, because actually, after this week I will be on the road again for s- some time. So I said, this is the only window that I have that I can enjoy. And guess what happened? I am babysitting tonight. My first job as a babysitter in my life. And I'm glad that is my granddaughter. So they are going out and they asked me to stay with my granddaughter tonight. Woo. So worth it, okay? Um, so I chose today the theme of do not worry about money. Yes, so many times we don't realize how really our problem is the worries or the thinking, or the trying to resolve it ourselves, or the fear, even, yeah, or the things that we tell ourselves. Um, for example, yesterday in the Spanish class, somebody said, well, for sure. She told me she went through a terrible divorce, very hard, very difficult. She says, and this is what the words she used. For sure, my daughter suffered. So why for sure? And who said that there has to be suffering? You understand what I mean? There are so many things engraved in us, recorded and re-recorded and programmed. uh, the programming is unbelievable, yeah, and it still comes very heavy from media. It comes from schools, it comes from parents, it comes from everywhere. Yes, so right now it's so important that we unprogram ourselves, that we unlearn what we learn, because actually we have to notice and realize that this does not work. Okay, this does not work. So why are we doing this? Why would we continue doing things that don't work? Why would we continue doing things if we don't get the results that we want, if we already know that they don't work? Yeah. So Osho, I read something from Osho long, long time ago that says, why don't we stop doing the things that make us miserable? And the answer was, because if you let go of what makes you miserable, you also have to let go of the payoff, the benefit. And you will say, what benefit could I have? Yes, from being miserable. Yes. Well, maybe people takes care of you, or you play victim and you feel good because people take care of you, or a lot of things. I remember that the first time that I shared this saying from Osho, I was in Monterrey, Mexico, and somebody raised a woman raised her hand, and he says, you know what, I choose not to play cancer anymore. He says, because I realize now that I play that, so my kids call me, my kids care for me, my kids are around me because I have this. He says, I'm not going to play this anymore. So you would say, how? No, this is not possible. Yes. No, not consciously. Sure, we don't do it consciously, but it happens. Okay. So, and I'll tell you where also it came the idea of this. I'm going to read you today from Maluhia, the Happy City. How many of you read this book? I highly, highly recommend it. It is for you to read, for you and your inner child, okay? Or you and your kids. I mean, you're going to really, really enjoy. These are 26 stories, and the stories are all from things that happened to me, stories that Ihaliakala told me, or maybe some students of mine, or things like that. So, Maluhia, the Happy City, is about a happy city where everybody comes to see what are they doing that they are so happy. So tourists comes to the city to find out, and the tourist guides are the kids. So the kids take the tourists around the town to show them, but to also share their philosophy, their way of thinking, the way of seeing life. And it's based on Ho'oponopono. Yeah. So I chose this one to read to you today. So I just want you to relax because I'm going to read you a story. And this is chapter 12 in the book. Release your worries and miracles will happen. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. So, the morning summer sunlight crept through Unihipili's bedroom window. However, he didn't feel it as he was lying in a small tent that he set up on the floor next to his bed. Though half asleep, the boy heard Malia's voice speaking to him from outside the door. My love, it's time to wake up, Malia said, knocking gently. I'm sleepy, Unihipili said, with a stretch and a yawn. Malia entered the room and bent over to peer into the tent. Unihipili quickly closed his eyes and pretended to be asleep. Malia smiled softly as she noticed the contents of the tent. A operated battery operated lamp, several colored pencils, and three books stacked one on top of the other on the floor. Resting on top of them was the drawing Unihipili had left unfinished the night before. Tenderly, Malia gazed for a moment at her son lying on top of a sleeping bag. Then she leaned down and softly whispered into his ear. I made the most delicious blue purple corn pancakes with strawberries for a gifted child who has not eaten since last night. Well, remember, blue cornmeal, a cleaning tool, Ho'oponopono cleaning tool, strawberries, Ho'oponopono cleaning tool. Unihipili's eyes popped open. Sitting up enthusiastically, he asked, Are they ready now? Malia laughed heartily and headed toward the door. Yeah, right, but but that is a great alarm clock, isn't it? Malia said with a sigh, Come on, get up. Maleka will be here in a half an hour to pick us up. Smiling brightly, Unihipili responded, Thanks, Mom, I love you. In the car on their way to Malia's house, Maleka and Keoni are engaged in a cheerful conversation. Maleka's younger brother Kanani listened from the back seat. They are excited about spending the weekend with Malia and Unihipili, especially Keoni, who suggested they go to one of his father's lodges located on the outskirts of Maluhia. My dad calls the inn Hauoli, Keoni explained. It is his favorite because it was the first one he built. I remember him working long days, even weekends. Although I was very young, I saw what he sacrificed, but realized that it was his dream and he was doing what he loved. He never complained or worried. He just let go and let God. That sounds familiar. Maleka asked, What did he do before? He was a lawyer in a very important firm, Keoni answered. He left the economic security offered by his clientele to do what his heart told him. He put all his savings into the construction of the first inn. Knowing very little about the business, he trusted God and his intuition. At that moment, they arrived at Malia's house, where she and Unihipili were waiting for them at the door. They greeted them with joy and then put their bags into the trunk of the car. Unihipili quickly climbed into the back seat next to Kanani and started showing him his new game. Malia thanked Keone for the invitation, and cheerfully they begin their journey to Hau'oli. When they arrived to the restaurant of the inn, Keone's father Alika was speaking to a couple that had been there for a week. They were enjoying the inn and the natural beauties that surrounded it. They had just visited the sea caves nearby and were commenting on how amazing the waterfalls were inside the caves. That was one of the reasons I chose this spot to build Hau'oli, Alika told them. Lots of people called me crazy because they said that this area would never be of much interest to tourists. But I didn't listen to them. Something inside me told me that if I did what I loved, beautiful decor, close, a lab created a special energy in a cozy inn with good food, beautiful decor, close to the magical sea caves and a short distance from Maluhia, that it would be a success. And definitely he practiced hooponopono. The woman asked, "And you never worry about being wrong?" Precisely because I did not worry, everything fell into place easily. And as you can see, the outcome was wonderful, Alika responded. The woman, not quite convinced, continued, "But how does one not worry? How did you do it?" "I simply chose not to worry," Alika said. "When I noticed that the part of me wanted to worry, I looked at the sky and talked to God, saying, 'You know what I must do. You know what I need. So I'm not worried.' Then I would always repeat it in my mind. I will not worry, I will not worry. I learned that worries are the obstacles that prevent us from seeing miracles, seeing what God can do. Miracles happen when we do not worry. That's very difficult to do, especially when you have financial problems," the woman replied. "I never had money issues because I let go and trusted," Alika continued. "The odds of having a financial crisis were high. I had invested all of my savings in this business without any guarantee of success. However, miracles began to happen. Imagine one day I received a letter from my bank telling me that they had reduced my mortgage by 50%. I had not asked for it, but the bank lowered the amount of my debt. A true miracle." Seeing that his son had arrived, Alika got up and excused himself from his guest. He walked over and embraced his son, then introduced himself to Malia, Maleka, and the boys. "Welcome to my inn," Aleka said. "Thank you for coming. Now go and enjoy yourself. We can talk later." The children immediately took off to run and play, while the adults took in the beauty of everything around them. They were captivated by the serenity of Hau'oli. It emanated peace and happiness as every object, every detail, every plant appeared to have been placed there by God's hand. So, see what it says here? You know what I have to do, you know what I need, so I'm not going to worry. See? So the story sounded familiar. Yeah, whose mortgage was reduced to 50%. Okay, that was a real story. I mean, that's exactly what happened. I didn't build an inn. I didn't put, a hotel. I went, but I left my accounting career. So how is it that they said in some movies, it says any coincidences, any things that look familiar. No. Okay, now behind the scenes, yes. So I left my accounting career to do this, and I did have a financial thing where I decided to say, "Hey, God, you know how much I need and when. I'm not gonna worry." And I also got uh, that was something that happened kind of right away. That I got a letter from nowhere where it says, "Oh, now your mortgage is starting next month," and it was 50% of what I was paying at that time. So if we want to explain it for the intellect, at that time I have a variable rate, interest rate loan, and the interest had fallen, or went down. So I was paying less. Suddenly 50% uh, less. So anyway, um, will you be doing zero frequency seminar in New Jersey? Maybe in 2023, Maritza. I'm sure I will go back to New Jersey and probably will consider to do the 2 days there. So we will do the hooponopono and we will do the zero frequency too. Thank you for asking. Um, okay, so somebody, Viviana said, okay, we saw you with my daughter in the Spanish, and now we are here in the English. Thank you, Ferenc. I hope I'm saying it. Hello from Hungary, Kosanam. Flora is here too. Wonderful. So I really thank you, Monse. Okay, it's kind of a poem in Spanish. She wrote kind of a poem thing there. So thank you, Monse. So let's do the breathing, okay? But in order to close kind of this idea with money, definitely leave it up to God. You have to know that you will have what you need when you need it. I highly recommend you read these stories. You become a child again. You worry less. You allow, you flow. You go in the flow with the universe, trusting, knowing in your heart that you will have what you need, because the worries and the thinking is what really affects us, and is actually plays against us. Really goes totally against everything. Okay, Bosnia and Hers, Herzegovina. I never know how to say it right. Herzegovina, yes. Sarah, I hope I see you in Zagreb or Belgrade, yes. Thank you for Denmark. Thank you, Lillian. I hope everybody that is close to, um, yeah, Florence. I'm gonna answer this one. So I hope that if you are on that side of the world, that you jump, don't think, and that we can share together in Serbia or Belgrade or both. Florence says, so financial problem is due to being worried? Yes, it's not trusting. So many times, doing things for money too, yeah? Working for the money, again, putting money first. It could be a combination of things, but usually, I would say always, when you let go of the worries, money will flow. Yeah, but definitely I do the zero frequency, especially I created because I always tell you I stumble with my passion, with my purpose, and that made a big change in my life. And that's why for me it's very important to help you to connect with your passion, with your purpose, because definitely when you are doing that, the universe takes very good care of you. Flora, Montevideo and Buenos Aires were wonderful experiences. Yeah, I agree. Very special, and especially after 3 years. The same thing, Zagreb and Belgrade. After 3 years, I will be able to be there. Yeah, uh, Biljana, yes, am I saying it right? From Croatia, we are gonna see each other soon. And Will says, that story brought up a lot for me. I'm going to order the book. Wonderful, Will. I highly recommend it. I recommend all my books because they are easy to read and they really get, for example, zero frequency. Some people says as you are reading it, you are getting to zero. I had experiences of being at zero while reading the book. So, but that is a must. The same thing with the easiest way to grow, my first book for children, um, because it's really more for us, for adults, and to remember and to reprogram ourselves and to being able to relearn, yeah, reprogram ourselves, but with good programs. Okay, okay, let's do the breathing. Florence says, answer. So the great problem with worrying is not trusting God. How do you start trusting? Okay, great question. I love that question. It's for me, because I can only talk about my own experience. I started working on trusting myself. That means loving and accepting myself just the way I was, and still having those conversations, where or thoughts against me. But I would say, thank you, but I'm busy, not engaging with those, not engaging with the worry, with the fear, with those limiting beliefs and things like that. That money this and money that, and the things that you heard about money. But I started trusting God when I started trusting myself. And why? Because I started happen, like for example, the 50% mortgage going that my mortgage going down 50%. I mean, I realized I couldn't have been doing that all by myself, because I was an accountant and I was Argentinian and I was Jewish and I was Virgo and no, none of my attributes would have caused to reduce my mortgage 50%. That had to be God. That had to come from God. And if you don't want to see it as God, because whatever beliefs or traumas or whatever in your life, just think of a part of you that is more intelligent than your intellect. So with hooponopono, we stop that part in order to be able to give the other part of us that I decided to call it God, to intervene, to help me, to guide me. But for that, I have to stop the other radio. Okay. And that's what we do with Ho'oponopono. So whatever thoughts you have, whatever worries or something, again, thank you, but I'm busy, or you thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, whatever you can do to override those thoughts. But really, I started like with myself, working on myself, stopping, what other people thought of me, or again trusting myself. And then things started happening, like for example this, because I know that I always said, well, things started happening that it couldn't be myself. But when I read this, actually when I read it in the Spanish live before, I really had to laugh when I read that, because whatever I chose to read, I don't read it before the live. So the first time now was, I mean, after many years. I mean, I don't remember how many years I wrote this book. Uh, it was many years ago. So I was looking at, when I was reading this before, I laughed when I read about the 50%. So I forgot, for example, about that. I have not been saying that story for a long, long time. But that's one of the miracles I saw. And I said, I'm not doing this. I'm not alone here. And so the thing is, when you start trusting, It's like a new muscle, it's out of your comfort zone, trusting. Especially you're trusting on something you cannot see or touch. Yeah. But when you start seeing the things, you start seeing more and more and more and more, because the more that you trust, the more that the universe comes through, the more permission that you give. Yes. So practice, practice, practice. Okay. We've been practicing all the things that don't work. Yes. So why not start practicing things that work? Okay. Uh, okay. So look at this. Regina answers you. We are sparks of God. So to trust yourself is to trust that spark. Thank you, Regina. Beautiful. Okay. So Flora says, I sleep with the seminar book at night. Yeah, I always tell you the manual underneath the pillow. Uh, okay. And somebody says here, okay, so Maritza, uh, from my heart, okay? Money flooded in. Um, I want to make a comment about this, that it could help people sometimes. And I'm not saying, Maritza, that's what you are doing or saying, no say. But this is the difference with affirmations, because many times I've been asked about the law of attraction and visualizations and affirmations. Okay, so I think this is a good time to clear this. It's not like Ho'oponopono doesn't work with the law of attraction. And yes, first of all, there is a law of attraction, but there is a lot of also of expansion. Did you know that? So first you have to make room for more money or for whatever you want. And for example, working on yourself, trusting yourself, uh, and things, it could be a way of expanding. Yes. Um, so because otherwise the money might come and will go. Yes. So yeah, you have to work on yourself, not only just concentrate on what you want. The other thing is, in Ho'oponopono, we do not work with visualizations or affirmations, because we say that is giving orders to God. Okay? So I'm telling God what is right for me and what He should be bringing me, instead of trusting God that God already knows. And believe me, God will always surprise you. It will bring you much more of what you could imagine. Okay? Swear. Okay? Because we wouldn't even think that that is possible. So that's why you have to open your mind. You have to be flexible. The other thing that I got, because I remember one of the very first times that Ihaliakala came to US, not to US, to Los Angeles, that I organized the Ho'oponopono training for him. Somebody raised her hand, and she said, so what about affirmations? And in that moment I got the answer. I saw it very clearly, and I said, affirmation again is lying. It's like programming yourself for something that you want, and you feel like you are doing it or you're having it or something like that. And you know what your inner child, your subconscious mind says? Could I do it here, guys? I'm gonna do it really fast, okay? Your inner child says, okay, what is she talking about? And because you are lying, we are going to have this house, or we are going to get this house, or whatever you repeat, or I see my bank flowing with money and all, and so Ho'oponopono is coming from love and coming from humility and coming from, hey, I don't know, but God knows. And God is a part of me. And God is the one that created me and knows me better than anybody else. And all I have to do is let go and allow God. Can you imagine? That easy. But again, it's a lot of the very different programming, yes, that we've been learning and practicing for many years and maybe for many lifetimes. So yeah, might not happen overnight. Okay, let's see what Regina says now. For this or something more, for my highest good is what I say, and money shows up. But I think about what I would like and then do Ho'oponopono till I feel calm about. Yeah, because you know what? Thank you, Regina. Because you have to let go of the attachment. Okay, it's not like you cannot have desires or something, but set yourself free from that. Okay, God already knows all your desires, but also knows what will really, really, really make you happy that you don't know, or what you really, really, really need that you don't know. So it's opening, becoming more humble somehow. And Maritza says, I said that when I stopped worrying about money, the money flooded into my business. Wonderful, Maritza. But you gave me the possibility of explaining that was also important to talk about. Lydia, I see you in Croatia. Yay. Okay, God knows. Breathing Ha. Breathing Ha is a Ho'oponopono tool. And when we do this, all we have to do is breathe and count. Yeah. And we always have new people. That's why I always explain it. Feet on the floor. By the way, new people, and this is for all of you, yes, whoever is watching. If anything that I said or I will say, it help you or it will help you, yes. If something it got to your heart, yes. If something again you think it will be helpful for somebody else, I humbly ask you to give it a like, to comment, maybe to share it with somebody that you think it might help. The message is, it's all about the message. And why I'm asking this is because that helps me to get to more people, those people that maybe show up today by mistake, that is maybe their first time and they found me by accident. Or I have so many stories to tell you, people that comes to the training and they always said, I was about to do this, or I was going through this, and your video show up. So again, it's not about ego, it's not about the messenger, it's about the message. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, I ask you to please share, to please like it or something, again, if you like it, and if you feel somebody can benefit, because that helped me to get my message out there more. Okay, and this is the time to keep waking up people. My mission is to wake up people, and it's still I have a long way to go of waking up people. A lot of people are asleep yet. Breathing hard. So back straight, feet on the floor, three fingers together. Yes, these three fingers together. And once I have it together, I open and I form the infinity sign. Okay, so three fingers together, but then I open, I interlock it, and I form the infinity sign. We put it on our legs or wherever comfortable. Like I said, when we do this, we breathe and we count. So I inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I hold my breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I exhale through the nose too, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I hold my breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7, 7, 7, 7. That's one time. And we do that 7 times. If you are in a safe place, maybe you want to close your eyes. Let's do it. Thank you, guys. SG, I'm doing Ho'oponopono, my problem resolving automatically. I love it, but I don't want to create false expectations. Very important to do Ho'oponopono with no expectations, and then you will not believe your life. Because really, God knows better what is right and perfect for you. Okay, so some of you were asking, hmm, I don't have the link with me for the events, but if you go to mabelkatz.com, my website, go to the calendar, okay, or events, and check it out. And there you have the Croatia, the Zagreb, or whatever will be adding. Okay, I have many more in Spanish. Sorry, but just in case, I'm gonna put this here. I'm we have a Ho'oponopono community. I highly recommend. Thursday, we have the monthly class. It's a live class that I give in Zoom. You can talk to me if you choose, or I answer all the questions during the call, the ones that you sent before, because not everybody can be live, or the ones that you make during the class. You can find, you can join our Ho'oponopono family in mabelkatz.com /member. You will see all the benefits that you have, but especially our private forum. Yesterday, actually, this person that was going through a terrible divorce said, "Thank you, everybody in the forum. Thank you for that forum because that saved me, during these tough times. We are there for you. We are cleaning. The forum really cleans 24/7. As soon as you, I remember when Mija Liakala said, as soon as you send the email, the universe starts cleaning. As soon as you sign up for a class, the cleaning starts. In the forum, as soon as you post, the cleaning starts, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah, and that's the beauty of knowing that we have this help, and we need all the help we can get, especially these times. But the thing is to belong to a community also that thinks like you, that is different like you, that is crazy like you. and don't and that where you realize you are not that crazy. Yes. And where you feel the support. We all go through things, we all have challenges. Actually, the theme for the last class was transforming your worst or most difficult challenges into a path of love and peace, because that's the idea, how you can really be at peace. What are you concentrating on, or what are you paying attention to? So I highly, highly recommend. Also, for some of you that talks about the products and recommend them, you have the possibility of doing that and also making money by becoming an affiliate. And that's it, mabelkatz.com /affiliates. Okay. So that's another possibility. I know some people are hurting financially, and that's one way. I have people that pays their rent with the commissions they make and things, because once a person comes for one thing, that it could be the community, that it could be a virtual zero frequency training or whatever, then it's your client. So whatever they buy in the future, or if they stay in the membership, I mean, it's recurring income for you, and it doesn't take that much time. So I think it's important. Let me see if I have something else that I might be forgetting. Remember to, again, give me likes, share, comment, etc., etc. But especially Instagram, remember that change, and you not only put me in favorites, but notifications. Okay, very important. Okay, and I think it's okay. Soon we are going. Well, I don't know when, but remember Barry Goldstein that we did the music. He's a award-winning, composer, and an amazing soul. So we are planning to do something together again about how music can help us to be more at peace. Okay, guys, I'm going. Thank you so much for your time, for being here, for giving me the opportunity to clean. That's my job. Thank you. Okay, so may I ask what is the significance of the Flor de Lis badge and the lovely tree ornament? Well, that one was given to me in Mexico, but the Flor de Lis is my World Peace campaign. Is Flor de Lis, I got it as a tool in Israel. It came to me by inspiration, and at that time I was still working with Ihaliakala, so I sent him an email, and his response was amazing. You can go to Peace Within is World Peace and find out more. Go to the Flor de Lis symbol, and you will get a lot of information, or spread uh, help me to spread the peace around the world. I will really appreciate it. Okay. I had a lot of childhood drama. Let's see. Regina, I had a lot of childhood drama and did hooponopono for the last 2 years, and I no longer feel any anger or resentment. That's wonderful. Many times it's holding uh, all those regrets and anger and things like that, and the blaming and things like that, but it's hurting us, it's not hurting the other. So you want to get to the point, yes, of loving yourself enough that you're not going to hurt yourself anymore. I will enjoy my granddaughter. Thank you, Maritza. Thank you, thank you. And Gila says, I think it's Gila, Ho'oponopono saved me in very hard times in my life. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It really works. It works for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody, but I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It will not hurt you. I'm going to close with a piece of eye. Peace be with you, all my peace, the peace that is I, the peace that is I am, the peace for always, now and forever and evermore. My peace I give to you, my peace I live with you. Not the world's peace, but only my peace, the peace of I. God bless you. Please share, like, yeah, comment. Love you.